You're not gonna believe this. No, seriously, it's unbelievable.
I'm sure we've all had bad, even funny dates at some point. But I never thought mine would be like this.
Hi, my name is Amy, and I'm going to tell you why I won't be risking going on a date anytime soon.
Subscribe to learn more and give me a like if you like my story.
Okay, I'll admit it right off the bat. I've never been particularly popular with guys. In high school, there were girls that everyone was pining for and trying to emulate. They seemed to me closed worlds in Roblox, which I could never get to. They were real fairies, with every hair and high ponytail in its place, a perfect black arrow above the eye, and always a haughty smile. And every guy in school wanted to date such a fairy. I was just a regular fairy, no extra features or super skins. With ordinary hair color, ordinary figure, boring hobbies.
In short, I didn't stand out. Just Amy, nothing more.
One day, my friend Jen and I decided to go to a basketball game. Our team was competing against a team from a neighboring school. I wasn't really interested in the competition. I wanted to go home and watch a new episode of Ginny and Georgia. But Jen talked me into going. She had a huge crush on one of the players and wanted to flirt with him after the game.
Oh, come on. Tim is so manly. He's a smash. And then we could watch your show together.
Jen urged me to. I reluctantly agreed. I was bored, so I quietly scrolled through my Instagram feed while Jen watched the game. As I was engrossed, I didn't immediately realize that something was flying at me. It was only by my friend's scream and the ringing in my temples. My eyes went black and everyone around me was making so much noise that I didn't immediately realize what to do.
Oh my god, you have a concussion.
I'm going to take you to the nurse's station. Jen took my hand and pulled me toward the nurse's office. But we weren't exactly welcome in the nurse's station, as the nurse was on the phone discussing some important gossip. So she quickly measured my blood pressure, touched the bump that was already on my forehead, and gave me some painkillers. But while I was recovering from the shock, the match was over. Jen sighed unhappily, but agreed to call an Uber to take me home. While we were waiting for the car, one of the players approached us. He turned out to be not only the captain of the varsity team, but also a real hottie. The guy looked at me guiltily.
Look, I'm sorry. I guess I'm the one who got you in trouble.
He smiled, and I was stunned.
To make it up to you, I suggest we meet tomorrow and go for a walk.
Jen nodded quickly and pushed me back, and I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. It was so cool that that ball had landed right in my head.
So?
He was looking at me.
I'm Josh, by the way.
Amy, and I'm in. God, I couldn't believe that such a handsome man was paying attention to me. All day I'd been daydreaming and wishing my classes were over. I wonder where we'll go. To a cafe with delicious ice cream? Or just have a burger? Maybe he likes Japanese food. Josh promised he'd pick me up. Oh, cool, he has a car. And when the horn honked outside the window, I was ready in a beautiful mini dress, makeup, and very hungry. But there was a surprise waiting for me in the car. There was a woman behind the wheel, and my crush was winking at me from beside her. He waved hello and gestured for me to get in. I was embarrassed, but got in the back seat.
This is my mom.
Josh introduced us.
She's taking us to the cafe.
It was raging inside, but I held it together. Maybe it was her car, and Josh's mom needed to go somewhere, and she'd drop us off. My mom kept talking the whole way, asking me about everything. So at some point, I started to get annoyed. We stopped at a cafe. I politely said goodbye to my companion's mom. However, she said that we would see each other again. I'm about to pick up my little sister from visiting and will wait for you in the car. She then took out some bills from her purse and handed them to Josh. He wasn't even embarrassed. I felt out of place. It was weird, so we're gonna be in control the whole time? Also, the fact that Josh takes money from his mom to take a girl to the cafe amazed me. Almost everyone in my class had a part-time job and always had a little pocket money for such outings.
But Josh apparently didn't care about his situation. However, everyone has their own rules, so I decided not to dwell on it. The waitress came over and I ordered my favorite burger.
Are you really going to eat that? There's mayonnaise on it.
Josh narrowed his eyes. Well, I like burgers. What's wrong with mayonnaise?
I wouldn't recommend it.
He looked at my figure and I was numb. What's he implying?
See that girl? You don't want to become one, do you?
He nodded his head at a rather pretty girl with shapes. I was shocked. What the hell is he talking about?
Our entrees arrived, but my appetite was gone. Josh, on the other hand, seemed to have an appetite. He was chowing down on his food, splashing sauce all over the place. The lower half of his face was completely covered in ketchup. Then the guy wiped his face with his sleeve and moved closer to me.
You know, it's not easy for athletes.
I mean, you know, training, stuff like that.
I tried to move away from him. I was embarrassed to see his face smeared with sauce.
It's not just that, we have status. And we have to live up to it. So if you want to be my girlfriend, no burgers, okay?
I nodded dumbfounded. Even though I really wanted to get up and leave, I didn't understand what was going on. What girl? We're only on our first date. Maybe Josh was just nervous, but he just kept talking and talking.
You know, I've only dated blondes, so you might want to dye your hair. Hey, watch where you're going, you idiot!
Suddenly, Josh yelled at a stubby guy who walked by and accidentally bumped his chair. He immediately apologized, but Josh just knocked the cocktails out of his hands, which the poor guy was carrying for himself and his girlfriend. Why did you do that? I asked, dumbfounded.
What's the big deal?
Josh shrugged.
Do you want me to be seen as a wuss? Let's go to a movie. There's a theater nearby.
I retreated to the restroom to collect my thoughts. I'd never been on a date like this before. Josh was kind of pompous and cocky, even though he seemed like a nice guy. Maybe I'm overreacting. I decided to give him one last chance. Maybe a movie would calm him down a little and he'd open up to a different side of me. I walked out of the restroom and noticed Josh casting interested glances at the tall girl across the hall.
Well, it was time to end this farce. It was too much for a first date.
I've had enough. I'm leaving. I grabbed my bag and made my way to the exit.
Hey, stop!
Josh grabbed my arm.
Who's gonna pay for your burger?
At that moment, I turned around to respond sharply and bumped into the waitress. Her tray tumbled over me, and I was covered head to toe in milkshakes. But instead of helping, Josh started laughing and filming the whole thing. I cried and ran out of the cafe. Josh's mom saw me. Amy, stop! What happened? But I was on my way home. That wasn't the end of the story. Josh forwarded a video of my embarrassment to everyone.
It quickly spread to my school, too.
He also started spreading rumors that I was a real con artist, and that I went on dates to eat at the guy's expense, and that I only chose popular athletes. Of course, a lot of people believed him and started ignoring me or making fun of me. It's been 2 weeks. Josh is still demanding payment for that burger, by the way.
I'm also getting messages from his mom,
who apparently gave her my phone number.
She's complaining that I've been mean to her son and threatening to tell the whole town about how bad I am.
I don't know what's going on.
All I know is I'm not going out with a guy for a while, and I advise you, carefully check the one who calls you to eat burgers in a cafe. And what if he is not the manly and self-sufficient guy you imagined him to be?
If you've had any failed dates, write. Let's chat in the comments.